The Headquarters Road Bridge sits at the heart of the Ridge Valley Historic District, an area that is on the National Register of Historic Places. Historians say it's the oldest bridge of this type left in Pennsylvania and one of only a few in the nation over 200 years old. The bridge is a contributing element to the historic district. It crosses the Tinicum Creek, a federal wild and scenic stream. Transportation experts say the bridge is context sensitive for the community.
The context here is what I call a rural conservation zone or area. And by that I mean it's an extremely rural landscape with a small population. It has significant scenic, environmental, historical assets of different kinds. It is to a large extent protected already from development.
The bridge has been closed since March 2011. PennDOT officials have indicated they want to replace the one-lane bridge with a new two-lane span. Dr. Mark Stout says that option doesn't fit with the character of the region.
2/3 of the bridges in Tinicum Township are one-lane bridges now. That's the norm, not the exception. Half of the bridges owned by PennDOT in Tinicum Township are one-lane bridges. So a one-lane bridge is consistent with the existing and planned land use. And to flip it the other way around, widening a bridge in an area like this would potentially tend to spur a little more kinds of sprawl development that you don't want to have in an area like this.
PennDOT says the traffic volume on the roadway warrants a two-lane bridge, but a former traffic safety engineer with the New Jersey Department of Transportation says the data isn't accurate.
The volumes that I looked at in the previous years are quite old, and they were just over the 400 volumes per day range. I don't know how they could make that assessment without having some accurate volumes, and they can't do that while the bridge is closed. You have to normalize your bridge and then make an assessment once all of your roadways are open, and your traffic would have to be normalized in your region to be able to take accurate traffic volumes.
PennDOT has also argued that a two-lane bridge is needed to handle school buses and emergency vehicles. OT says a one-lane structure can also do the job.
It would be built to the specifications for the largest vehicle that is in the area that would be using it. And I believe your fire trucks in this township are the ones that would use that, as well as your school buses. The bridge would be restricted, I understand, to any large or heavy commercial vehicles, so that it wouldn't be necessary to design and or accommodate those on a regular basis.
A comparison conducted by the Delaware Riverkeeper Network shows repairing the current structure is a less expensive, faster option than building a new bridge. Replacing the current span with a two-lane crossing could also lead to increased traffic volume and speeds.
I do expect to see crashes possibly associated with side swipes, opposite direction side swipe crashes. So I do anticipate that you would see more crashes. You'd also probably increase your volume because traffic would understand and know that this is a two-lane bridge, a wider bridge, and they would probably end up using it more. You'd probably see an increase in volume.
The roads are very windy and hilly and narrow, and none of that would be fixed. If you put a two-lane bridge in here, it's not going to fix any of those other, what we call geometric deficiencies. But it could get more speed on this bridge, which is the last thing you want. But it's certainly not going to really help traffic volume that much. So a much better solution when you have these lightly traveled roads is to just look at specific safety features to see if there are individual spots where there's a crash history, to see if there are some minor fixes you can do it. But the last thing you want to do is start widening roads, widening bridges around this town, which is just going to lead to further problems rather than solutions.
Pat Ott says accident figures show few problems now.
But I did look at accidents in the vicinity and the area here. I also reviewed a previous report that had some crash data in it. Said there was 10 crashes over, I believe, 10 years. That's averaging 1 per year. There is nothing, and in speaking with the chief of police here, the crashes mainly were run off the road, crashes hitting fixed objects, single vehicle crashes associated with nighttime, lack of lighting, and some alcohol involvement. The one-lane bridge can actually reduce crashes and be similar to what we call a choker or a neck down, which are used at intersections or at mid-block crossings.
Widening the span to 2 lanes will also put more polluted runoff in the Tinicum Creek. Pennsylvania has designated the stream exceptional value, requiring the strictest protections. PennDOT is also targeting other nearby historic bridges over sensitive streams for replacement.